I never thought an ordinary lunch outing could turn into the most unsettling day of my life. My son, Ethan, had invited me to a new restaurant in the city. He was in his mid-20s, working at a tech company, and we hadn't spent much time together lately. When he called and said, "Mom, let's have lunch," my treat, my heart warmed. I thought it was his way of reconnecting. The restaurant was upscale, with tall windows and polished wood floors. Ethan greeted me with a smile, but there was something in his eyes, a flicker I couldn't quite place. He ordered for both of us without asking, which was unusual, but I brushed it off. Maybe he wanted to impress me. We talked about his job, his new apartment, and the friends he'd been hanging out with. He laughed, but his laughter felt forced, almost rehearsed. Still, I was glad to be sitting across from him, enjoying a meal together. When our drinks arrived, I noticed him watching me closely as I lifted the glass of juice to my lips. For a split second, his eyes darted away, and he fiddled with his phone. After about an hour, he excused himself. "Sorry, Mom, I've got to run." "Meeting later," he said, hugging me quickly before hurrying out. It felt abrupt, but I didn't want to seem clingy, so I stayed behind to finish my drink. That's when it happened. A man in a black security uniform approached my table carefully. He leaned down and spoke quietly, almost nervously. "Ma'am, I don't mean to alarm you, but I saw your son put something in your juice when you weren't looking." The glass slipped from my hand, clinking against the plate. My mind went blank. "What are you saying?" I whispered, my voice trembling. The guard's expression was grave. "I was monitoring the cameras. It was subtle, but he slipped something into your drink right before you took a sip. Please, don't drink any more. We can have it tested." My stomach turned. I'd already had 2 sips. My chest tightened, fear coursing through me. Why would my own son do such a thing? 1,000 memories flashed in my mind. The boy I raised, the child who used to run into my arms after school, the teenager who once promised me he'd always take care of me. I sat frozen. The guard immediately called the manager, and together they took the glass away. They offered to call the police, but I asked for a moment to think. My hands shook as I tried to make sense of it. I pulled out my phone and called Ethan. He answered casually, as if nothing was wrong. "Hey, Mom, did you like the place?" he asked. My voice cracked. "Ethan, why would you put something in my drink?" There was a long silence on the line. Then he sighed heavily. "So, they told you?" I felt my heart shatter. "Ethan, why?" His tone shifted, cold and distant. "You wouldn't understand. It's not what you think." I pressed him, tears streaming down my face, but he muttered something about being forced into a corner, and hung up. I stared at the phone in disbelief, as if it could explain the madness. The restaurant staff insisted I go to the hospital immediately. Tests were run, and thankfully, nothing dangerous showed up in my system. Whatever it was, I hadn't consumed enough for it to harm me. Still, the betrayal left wounds no medicine could heal. Later that evening, I sat in my car outside my empty house, clutching the test results, thinking about the boy I raised. What could drive him to such an act? Was it money? Was he in trouble? Or had I missed the signs that the sweet child I once knew was carrying darkness inside him? The police opened an investigation after the restaurant turned over the footage. I haven't seen Ethan since that day. Some nights, I stare at the phone, wanting to call him, wanting to demand answers. Other nights, I wonder if I ever truly knew him at all. What haunts me isn't just what he tried to do. It's the fact that he looked me in the eye, smiled, and pretended everything was fine while planning something unthinkable. A mother's love can forgive mistakes, but this wasn't a mistake. This was deliberate. And now, whenever I sit at a restaurant, I find myself staring at the glass in front of me, remembering that afternoon, remembering the guard's words that changed everything. "I saw him put something in your juice."